Good evening, dear viewers. Okay, today I am going to take into account the same income tax and various characteristic features of tax. Following are the important characteristics of tax. Taxes can be or shall be imposed by the government only. The second one is taxes are paid in the form of cash. That is, whatever it may be, the tax that you are going to pay, you have to pay in the form of tax. Previously, the people they used to pay in the form of cash or kind, but at present we have to pay the tax in the form of cash. The aim of levying tax is to promote the welfare of the people living in the country. Next, the object of tax is to raise revenue to the government. That is, unless otherwise there is no tax, the government won't get any amount. Payment of tax involves an element of sacrifice. That is, we are earning money. When we sacrifice, then only that sacrifice will be taken as tax and it will be the income for the government. That is the main object that we will come across. Payment of tax involves an element of sacrifice. It is levied by the government by virtue of its power conferred under the Constitution. So, whatever it may be, the tax payment, it is according to the Constitution that we are having. That is, every country will have its own Constitution, and in the same way, our country is also having some Constitution. So, according to the Constitution, the tax authorities they have to leave the tax, and it is our duty to pay the tax. In India, one thing I can tell you is, in India, there are so many people who are absconding from tax. But when you go for Japan, okay, the richest country, the richest technically developed country, there they will give much importance for tax payment. Okay, here in India, we are earning the money, and why should we give the money to the government? It is our money. So there is no necessity for us to give money to the government. Like that, some people they are thinking. But it is a wrong notion. We are earning money and we are supposed to pay the tax to the government for the welfare of the society. Okay, for the welfare or for the well-being of the society, we have to pay. It is our sacrifice. Next, tax may be imposed on income or wealth on a commodity. That is, whatever it may be, the tax that is levied. Okay, it will be levied on the income as well as wealth. Okay, earned by an individual. Next, what are the objectives of tax? There are two types of objectives: traditional way and modern way. So, what are the objectives that we come across? To generate income to meet day-to-day expenditure of the government, and to generate income to meet the day-to-day expenditure of the government. And second one is to make position or to fulfill the basic needs of the people, to make provisions to fulfill the best needs of the people. What the people they need? Okay, thing is, we are having so many poor people, below average. They want only food, cloth and shelter. When we pay the money, automatically the government it is in a position to provide food, shelter and cloth for wearing. That is the thing. Next, taxation policy is a key instrument to bring socio-economic changes of the people. When you impose the tax, then automatically socio-economical requirements changes can be done by the government to the people. Tax is levied to protect the home trade and domestic industry from the global businessmen or businesses. When we go for tax, it will protect the not only the inputs, outputs, as well as the domestic industry. That is, the industries, they will produce the goods and they will sell the goods, and when the goods are in good condition, automatically we can export to other countries whom they require. So it is nothing but one important aspect that we come across. Now, subsidiary objectives. What are the subsidiary objectives that we come across? Okay, one of the economic objective of imposing taxes is formation of public capital fix for the rapid development of the economy. See, when you are paying tax to the government, automatically with that amount, we can, the government itself, it can see the ways and means to develop the country. When you want to develop the country means, it is not the people they have to develop. It is not the materials that they have to develop. It is the money that we are paying to the government in the form of taxes. So that thing also we have to take into account. Next, in times of scarcity, okay, of a commodity, heavy taxation or high taxes rate reduce the domestic consumption. Example, taxes on gold and petrol. Okay, when you take into account the present rate of gold and petrol, they are very, very high. So when you impose high taxes, automatically the people, they will reduce the prices. They will reduce the prices. Some people, they will think that, sir, we have to pay more tax, then why should we reduce the prices? You see, when there is high rate of tax, people, they won't pay, first of all. So thereby, the persons, the government, they can eliminate those people who are in ready to pay the tax amount, whether it may be small rate or high rate. Then automatically that amount can be spent, can be given to the other people to sustain their living. So this is nothing but one important object that we come across. Next, to encourage savings and channelize such savings to investment. You see, this tax burden, it encourages savings. You may ask me, sir, how we can encourage the savings? Okay, when a person, when he is earning an income and when he is supposed to pay the tax, so what he will do is, we have to pay the tax and we are saving. The amount, it is going to the government, and government can be in a position to invest in other activities. So this is nothing but one way of saving. See, you are giving the money to the government in the form of tax, and government, it is taking the amount. So it is nothing but one type of saving, and you will get some benefits. When you pay regularly the tax amount, the government will be in a position to give some privileges, some benefits for you, because this person is nothing but a regular person of taxpayers. So we have to consider him. So with that, automatically the people, they are going to be enjoy the fruits of paying the tax. So in Japan, when you take into account the Japan, every person, whomever they are earning money, they are ready to pay the tax, because they know that whatever it may be, the tax that we are paying, it is nothing but an income to the government, and the government is in a position to help us in one or other way. So this is nothing but one important object. Now coming to the modern approach. Okay, ensuring accelerated economic development. See, there is a lot of difference between economic development and economic growth. Economic growth is nothing but a physical growth. Economic development is nothing but not only physical growth but also a mental growth. So when you want to accelerate the economic development, first one is you have to be in a position to pay the tax amount. Next, increasing employment opportunities. Increasing employment opportunities. So you may ask me, sir, how it will increase the employment opportunities? The government people, they will keep some employers. They will appoint some people to collect the taxes. Okay, all the people, all the government people, they cannot go to each and every individual. So they will appoint some people to collect the taxes from the people. So there is an opportunity for getting an employment. Next, reducing regional imbalances. See, reducing regional imbalances. In one region, if they charge more tax and if they charge less tax in another region, so naturally you will come across regional imbalances. So when you take into account the tax, okay, it will somehow rather it will reduce the regional imbalances. Next, regulation of consumption of undesirable commodities. Regulation of consumption of undesirable commodities. Okay, take for example, when you want to go for alcohol, okay, when the rates are increasing, some people they will deny to go for that. Array, this price is this much. So like that, what they will do is undesirable these things consumption, it will be reduced because the tax rate will be more. Next, protection of domestic industries from competition of foreign markets. See, competition, this is regular. Everywhere it is regular. So this tax authorities, and by leaving the tax, they can reduce the domestic industries from heavy and severe competition from foreign markets. Okay. Next, protection, control and audience of trade cycles. So generally when you go for business, it is quite but natural that we come across trade cycles. And this thing, tax payment, it will reduce to some extent, it will reduce the trade cycles of businesses that we come across. Promoting capital formation. Okay, capital formation. Some people by paying the tax to the government, they can get the money, the government can get the money. So this person, tomorrow if he want to start, the government will give some subsidy for establishing a business, for establishing a industry. So capital formation is also promoted according to modern approach. And promoting exports and imports. When you manufacture the goods, only consumption is not the important thing. If you have to export as well as import, whatever it may be, the goods that are required by other countries, you must be in a position to export. And whatever it may be, the scarce goods, you can import. And this is possible by paying tax. The government, by paying tax, how it is? You are paying the tax to the government, and then the government, it will encourage people to export the goods which are not available in other countries. For example, mica. I'm telling you an example, mica. When you take into account India, we are having largest mines of mica, and other people in other countries, we are not having, we won't see that. So mica is one of the important export that we are making. Similarly, iron ore. We are having 18 mountains. We are having 18 mountains of iron ore, and we are taking that. And the Japanese people, they purchased one mountain. Out of these 18 mountains, the Japanese people, they purchased one mountain, and they are digging. They told that we are laying all the things, and the Indian government, they told that no, you please give the money, we are doing all the amenities and we are going to do all the things. So like that, okay, the imports and exports can be done. Regulating production form from the national point of view. Production form. So how much you are producing. How much you are producing. When you are producing, naturally the manufacturers, when they produce, they'll charge tax, they have to pay the taxes. And this taxation, payment of taxation, can regulate the production activities. Whatever it is needed for consumption and whatever it is needed for export trade, that much only production they will do. That is, they won't go for too much production. In the same way, they won't reduce the production. Okay, because if they reduce with the fear of taxation, if they reduce the production, it is sufficient only for consumption. It is not supposed to go for exports. So that's why it will regulate the production activities. Now, types of taxes. What are the types of taxes? Okay, the first one is duty, customs duty and excise duty. Customs duty, when you take your commodities to a shipping harbor, there for keeping the commodities, you have to pay the duty. Okay, when you increase, when you want to load or when you want to export more quantity, then automatically the duty charges, it will be more. So whatever is required, the people, they will keep that much quantity, so thereby they can reduce the duty charges, customs duty. Next, cess, CESS, sex. Okay, in order to promote higher education, okay, this type of tax, it was levied by the government of India. This cess will go for higher education people who are studying, who want to study higher education. For those people, the government, it is providing. And where it will get? From the taxpayers. Okay, from the taxpayers only it will get. So cess is one important thing. Okay, Swachh Bharat says. Otherwise, we won't see. We'll see dumping, big dumping yard in India. So Swachh Bharat cess is also included. Not only higher education, but also Swachh Bharat cess is also imposed. Next, surcharge. What is this surcharge? The surcharge is nothing but tax on tax. Tax on tax. Okay, any person who is getting more than 50 lakhs but less than 1 crore, he has to pay a surcharge of 10%. That is, tax on tax is nothing but surcharge. When it exceeds 1 crore rupees, then he has to pay 15% of tax. Okay, 15% of tax, 2 crores. And if it is more than 5 crores, then 25% of surcharge is to be paid, as additionally it is to be paid. Next, octroi. What is this octroi? So people from one place to another place, they have to move the commodities. So when they want to move the commodities, they are supposed to pay the octroi charges, because from one state to another state or from one place to another place, when we are transporting, it is customary duty for the people who are transporting the goods. That is, from one area to another area, when you are shifting the goods or commodities, whatever it may be, you are supposed to pay the octroi charges. Okay, next, terminal tax. The terminal tax, that is the last tax that you are supposed to pay. Okay, and toll tax. Okay, not only for goods and commodities, but for passengers, when they are moving from one place to another place, they are supposed to pay this toll tax. Like this, you will come across types of taxes. Now, classification of taxes, direct tax and indirect tax. I told you already that direct tax includes income tax and wealth tax, and indirect taxes, they'll include sales tax, gift tax, customs duty, excise duty. All these things, they are included in indirect tax. Direct taxes, they will include only income tax and wealth tax. Now, what are the merits? First, economy. Okay, economy. The whole society, if you take, you'll come across some rich people and some poor people. So when you impose this direct taxes, all the people, they are supposed to pay the tax. So automatically what will happen is you won't come across partialities. So every person according to his income, okay, a crore prati earning more income, he has to pay more tax. A ordinary person, when he is earning some income, he has to pay the tax. So there is no partiality. But thing is, the economy as a whole, it will flourish, it will develop. With this, I'm stopping, and tomorrow we are going to continue this. Thank you.